place. And it's also wonderful to have him here and helping us out and giving us some advice. I was talking to him earlier about where the festival could go, where the literary festival could go in the connection with other things. He's got such a huge experience. So he's promised to help us out, give us some advice and get us connected. So things like that are all very good. But what wonderful words and what wonderful, beautiful poetry in so many ways. Thank you, Gary. We're moving now to two more opportunities to hear. The Royal City Literary Arts Society has a writers and award presentation, and I'd like to introduce Deborah Kelly, and she is with the our class, as they call themselves. That's great, I love it. And Deborah will explain a little bit more about what it's all about, and we'll get that moving quickly through. And we'll end with Renee and as a poet, and John Oliver as composer doing their soundscape and poetry for the final of the evening. So please, Deborah Kelly.
I'd like to start out by thanking everyone who worked so hard to put this all together, the Litfest, and giving us this opportunity to award our winners. Just a little quick bit about Royal City Literary Arts Society. The society was formed about just over a year ago, and our purpose is to increase and broaden the understanding and knowledge of the written and spoken word as art forms, to provide readings, feature performances, open mics, workshops, and critiquing opportunities for literary artists, to stimulate, encourage, and facilitate the development of written and spoken word arts and activities, and to encourage both emerging and established writers in all genres. And without further ado, first I'd like to thank all of our judges, Jonina Curtin for poetry, Antonia Levy, who was our fiction judge, and Corey Levine was nonfiction. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first place winner in the poetry category is Aidan Chaff, and he will be reading his winning work, Poppy Thundercloud.
Thank you, Deborah, and the Royal City Literary Arts Society. I was told to keep this preamble pretty short. So the only thing I'll mention is Pappy is a word for father that Central and South Americans use. Pappy Thundercloud. Watching the weatherman highlight the incoming forecast of fog in your life, you turn and tell me your father was a hurricane that swept your mother off her Chilean heels and dropped her in the middle of Canada. And you were the South American sun that kept your mother warm during cold prairie winters. You, then a young girl, waking up to watch the wind blow your parents' weather-vane relationship in opposite directions. How you felt the storm in your mother's wrists whenever Pappy came home. You told me when his mouth caught rage, your father's hands became thunderclouds that drowned the house for weeks. How your mother absorbed too much lightning from those bottles he drank. How he would keep you up late at night with overnight fury, whipping his fists onto the roof of your head, leaving you a misty silhouette in the morning, leaving you well before you cleaned up the pieces of your heart that burst because your barometer could not withhold the pressure of his tornado. The reason you always cry watching the Weather Channel. How I understand now why I want to be all the buckets you fill with rain. Thank you.